So we are now joined by Mitch and Tom from Seaforth here at CMA Fest. How
Hello,
is it? How is it going, guys?
mate. It's been unreal. It's been unreal. It hasn't been too hot, which is great. Usually you're sweating like crazy and sunburnt. I haven't been sunburnt yet. A little bit of sweat, but we've played some great shows and met some great people. A lot of people from the UK actually. So
Yeah.
you guys have really swarmed the fest this year. It's been unreal.
Yeah, like you said, we were here last year, and it's like the temperatures dropped like so much. I go outside in a like second, I'm burnt.
Oh
Like,
yeah, dude.
I'm the colour of like a matchstick at the top.
Yep.
But
You
uh,
pick the
I'm the
UK
same.
crowd out. You're like, where's the sunburnt?
The sunburnt
Hey!
people. I love it.
so, like, just starting off, can we just talk about a bit about how like the whole musical journey started for you guys back out in Australia?
Definitely,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah. Well, I mean, Mitch and I have known each other since we were 3 years old, and it's kind of just been like a thing where we both grew up playing music, and we're always friends, and almost like friendly, like rivals in a way, where we'd always be like comparing like what we learned at guitar lesson and different things, and we like mess around with music like together when we were younger, but not really. And then after high school, we ended up writing together for the first time properly, and we were both kind of like, oh, this like makes a lot of sense. Like I feel like we both complement each other. And yeah, we were like probably 19, 20 when we first did that. And then we kind of realized that there was something special with the both of us together. And so then we kind of just like focused on that essentially like from then on. And Nashville was always like the goal. But I think being Australian, we have like a slightly different like take on like country music and, different influence. I think it's probably very similar in the UK as well, where there's so much music in the UK. Like country is such a big thing here, but it's not as like hasn't historically been as big in Australia or the UK. So to kind of come over here and do our thing is like super fun. I feel like we bring something a little different to everything. But yeah,
What's the country music scene like in Australia?
I mean, it's like there is a scene in Australia, and they're
more so
diehards,
more
and
so
it's
now
like,
than ever
and
too.
more
Yeah,
so now than ever. But it was kind of like a little niche where we grew up in Sydney. Our commercial radio was not playing country music. It was something that you kind of had to find, wasn't as easily accessible.
yeah,
So we weren't really surrounded by it where we grew up. But like if you went up north or out into the country, that was where like kind of the hub was. If you go to Tamworth, um, which we hadn't been to, we weren't surrounded by it. So
yeah,
for us, we never really got to see that country scene until we came back to Australia after living in the US.
yeah.
So for us, we were making trips out to Nashville until we moved and we fell in love with the city and the community. And then we only did our first like headline show at Seaforth in Australia last year.
Yeah,
And that was the
crazy.
first time we got to really like get involved with and see like what if people knew us at all in Australia or what
Like,
it was
even,
like, and it was freaking unreal.
Before we
man.
left, we were telling people we were moving to Nashville, and they're expecting there to be like tumbleweeds like rolling across the street and just like nothing here. And like we're like, no, like Nashville's amazing and country music, whatever. And now all my mates are like listening to like our music, but like listening to like Morgan Wallen and all these different artists that are like, have been big for a while. I feel like it's starting to really like make sense down there on like a broader scale
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Definitely, I think like Morgan Wallen went on he did a few shows across in
Yeah.
Australia like recently.
Well,
And
he played
killed it.
CMC Festival, then did
CMC rocks.
yeah, CMC Rocks, and did it like headline tour down there. I know it was crazy. And
Yeah.
all my buddies that had never even listened to a country
Yeah.
song before, like, we're going to Morgan Wallen.
Yeah,
I'm
can we
like,
get
I love that.
tickets?
It's so classic. Yeah. Do you know anyone that could get us tickets?
Yeah.
that's the problem though when you're in the industry, people expect it.
Yeah.
So like like a couple of days ago, like you announced quite a big thing saying that
Yeah,
you'd
mate.
like split up with like Sony Music on like a
Yeah.
mutual decision.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time for you guys.
Yeah, man.
So are you like fully independent now?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
mate. As of a few weeks ago, we are. It's
Like-
all on us. But it's honestly such an exciting new change and path for us. I think it was kind of like a long time coming, but we've been signed to Sony for 6 years, and they were amazing. Like we love everyone there, and we're all so close. But for me and Tom, it was kind of an emotional decision. It just got to a point where we were just like not in the best spot. We'd gone through ups and downs, and we were like got to a point where we needed to kind of take the control back and kind of like get back to what we were
just
when
back
we moved here and
ourselves
signed.
and find that inspiration
And-
and that spark.
Yeah,
again,
having
I
that
guess.
accountability and responsibility again has automatically, like immediately, just lifted us and like collaborating like we haven't before. And it's exciting, man. It's like it's daunting, but like
Well, the coolest thing about it is that we're literally just talking to our buddy about it. That like we can do whatever we want now as far as releases go. And I think the one like common thread has always been like, when are you guys putting out new music? When's new music? And I feel like we've done like very sporadic like music releases where now we're gonna put out like a new song every 6 weeks and just kind of like really just hammer like just give.
there'll be no shortage of music.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it. And like you say, you've got full control. So whatever you want to put out,
100%.
like you can do it. And like
reggae song coming out next. Yeah.
so you've got a new song coming out on June the 16th called "Get the Girl."
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Can we talk a tiny bit about that and maybe a bit what about the song's about?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
man.
man.
It's I mean, first independent release. We're so excited. We've kind of teased it on like social media and stuff, and it's seemed to react really well, and people, seem to be like excited about it. So that always gets us pumped. But I guess we wrote it with two of our buddies that we've written a lot of like different stuff of ours in the past with, and we just kind of, I don't know. I think it's just a cool twist on like lost love and whatever, and it's like I actually saw this comment I didn't realize, but Taylor Swift has this song called "How You Get the Girl," and it's like you do this and you do this and whatever. But no one had written a song as far as we saw that was like "How You Get the Girl Back When You Lose Her" sort of thing. So that's kind of the take on the song. But I'm really excited about it. Like it's one of my like favorite songs that we've kind of
Absolutely.
ever done. So
Well,
cool.
one of my favorite songs that you've made is like "Breakups." Like I absolutely love that song.
Thanks, man.
And so how did that song come about? And like what is that about?
Yeah. Well, Tommy, we get emotional with Tommy. that song honestly was like a therapy session for us. We wrote it with a good pal of us, Liz Rose and Cameron Bedell. And Liz Rose has written some of, we talk about Taylor Swift, but she was responsible with some of Taylor Swift's biggest hits back in the day. But she's just like iconic Nashville songwriter.
Yeah.
And we sat in the room with her and we started some idea, and she was kind of like, "This isn't it." She's like, "Boys, what's going on in your life? What's happening?"
I'd literally just gone through like a breakup like a week before. Yeah, I was like miserable, and then I was like, well, if you really want to know, and then we spoke about it, and that's kind of where the whole song kind of came from.
Just fell out like.
But yeah, from day one when we started like sending it to people, showing it to people, like teasing it online and stuff, people just seem to like react to it, which is super special. Where you write something that comes from such a real place, and then it ends up connecting. That's kind of what you
Absolutely
kind of hope for.
Another song of yours as well, like "Good Beer."
Oh yeah.
Like what a music
breakup. That one came from a terrible breakup.
What a music video for that. How fun was that to go and shoot?
Mate. So good, mate. Like we always joke because we're shit at golf, and we try to play just like get out and have a laugh with the lads. But we were on tour with Jordan Davis at the time, and we honestly had that song written and ready to go out before without him on it. And then we're on tour with him. We're like, "You want to like jump on this with us? I feel like it'd be perfect. I feel like the song's a party. Like we'd love to have you on it." And shortly after that, like he was on it with it, and it was out within like 2 weeks of us talking about it wildly. But we were like, what would make sense for a video clip? And someone sent in an idea about golf, and we were like, that's the one, because Jordan's actually great at golf, and we're terrible. So we're like, this is going to be funny. And we went out for a date, played terribly, and set the whole thing up around that, and I think it was perfect.
Brilliant. And another one of your songs as well, Queen of Daytona Beach.
Oh yeah.
Like, how did you get Sean Kingston involved on that track?
So funny. I don't even know, to be honest. I think we have like a mutual friend or someone that knows his management. I think in like demo form, they sent the song to him because we like referenced the Beautiful Girls song in the verses of that. We like took the melody and the lyric, the beautiful girls, and we were like, we're gonna have to change this. We were
never going to leave it in.
Yeah,
we like,
and then
it just helps, right?
Yeah, and then we had this idea where we're like, why don't we just try to get Sean on the song, because everyone knows that song. It's a classic, whatever. And then he ended up hearing it, being like, I dig this. It's cool, whatever. And I was like, really, like, and then and then I don't know, somehow made it happen. And he just he like literally sent us his verse. I remember I literally have one text with him, and it was like, hey dude, thanks for getting on the song. Like, do you want us to help you write the verse, or are you? And he's just like, I got it. That was all he said. And I was like, okay.
I got it, King.
Yeah, and then like 3 weeks later, we get like a Dropbox file of his like
all
verse,
the vocals,
all the BVs, all the things. Yeah, and he killed it. So
amazing.
Cool.
So now that you guys are based in Nashville, what's one thing that you miss back home in Australia? If you had to pick one thing.
Apart from the obvious family, I miss the water beach. I used to fish a lot back in Australia. That was like my separation from music, and now we're landlocked, so I haven't been able to get into like bass fishing or anything. But that's apart from family, like going out on the boat.
I'd say the beach, like the beaches. And, like, I don't know. I go back now and I'm just like, man, this is such a beautiful place. Like I kind of took it for granted, I think, when we like lived there, But yeah, I love it.
We know quite a few Australians back home, and they say like the one thing they miss is like Vegemite.
Vegemite, dude.
Well, you can get it here. There's a couple places that stock it, and I'll always come back. Mum will like have like a packet.
Have you tried it?
Like, I've never tried it, but we've got something similar called Marmite.
Marmite's right.
We had Marmite too. I never got into the Marmite.
I never tried it. Yeah.
It's a good little change, but I do like Vegemite. There's a couple Australian cafes here. Vegemite, scrambled eggs.
People try, they're like, this is shit.
Disgusting. They're like, it's horrible. I'm like,
It's terrible.
It's like Foster's back home.
Yeah,
Like, the
yeah,
beer.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's the worst beer that you can ever pick.
Right.
I don't think we can
Well,
find it in Australia.
yeah, I don't think they have Fosters in Australia. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's probably a thing. It's probably made somewhere in like
Yeah,
one
I
of
think
the
it's
Utah
in
or
the
something.
UK.
It's like an American company.
Yeah.
So finally, like, what is the rest of 2023 got? Like, I know you said you've got like music dropping every like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Can we expect like a new album coming out? Any more like tour dates? Anything like that?
Yeah, mate. I mean, we're touring for the rest of the year. We have a lot of festivals this summer, which we're excited about. We go over to Canada for the first time to play some festivals there. Then we're heading back to Australia to play a few shows. We haven't announced that yet, but a couple of festivals and some headline dates. We're going to be working on music the whole time and releasing it as consistently as possible in a lead up to an album next year. And then honestly, we're just trying to get back to the UK as freaking soon as possible. We were pissed off we couldn't get back there this year because we were there last year. Like, we want to be coming back. But
We're like waiting for the like confirmation to come through in the email. It just never came through. Like,
What's been your favourite show that you've played in the UK so far?
honestly, I feel like, well,
I mean, one of my
me-
favorite shows, period, in my whole life was our headline show in London when we went over for the Chris Young tour, and then the night before, we literally had 3 days rehearsing with a new band over there that we'd never played with. Got the set tight, and then we were meant to head to Glasgow for the first show, and the night before we were meant to leave, we got a call saying he'd cancelled the whole tour.
You had
And-
COVID or something?
Yeah,
didn't you?
COVID,
and so then.
they didn't even
Yeah.
make it over.
So then we just were like, well, we're here. We may as well do something. So then we put on this headline show in London, and it was like rammed, like packed, and the energy in the room was amazing. It was
insane.
like so good. Like, dude, like C2C, like playing the side shows that we did, and then even the one at the O2. Like,
Yeah,
like, it was all-
Long Road, the whole thing.
Long
like,
Road
we
was
were just
unreal.
like blown away.
Yeah, we just love it, man.
That
And, like,
Camden show.
yeah, we have like an affinity with the UK, like
Yeah.
you said, you know what I mean? And so like genuinely love it, love the people, love the pints, and want to just get back and like
I think it's the
we're
same culture with
It's the
Australia.
same-
Just the only difference is you've got the weather.
yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But well, thank you very much for joining
Mate,
us
thank
today,
you, man. Thank
and
you.
best of luck for the future with like
Cheers,
this
bro.
independent journey as well.
Appreciate it, mate.
See you again.
Thank you.
Cheers.